What's going on, guys? It's Marcel. Look, I'm back. I'm back. So, look, as you could probably see or maybe hear, I'm in a new location. So, furniture is still coming in. So, you probably hear an echo from the big space. But I'm in a new condo, new city. I'm out in Vegas. We'll probably be out here for the next year, maybe year or two. I'm, making some plays out here that I'll go into details a little later about, but doing some pretty cool things out here in Vegas. But anyway, we had a really good past couple of days in the group. I mean, no different than every day in the group. But yesterday we hit trades for 40+%. Today we did the same thing. 50, 60% on single trades. And I wanted to just get back to breaking down how we make this magic happen, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but the people that decide to stay the course and study and listen to what me and Zay say in the group, they end up being very successful, right? We're starting to see so much. I mean, we like I said, we see the profits every day for those who are taking the trades with us, but we're starting to see people branch out and do their own thing, which is the goal, right? The goal, I mean, like I said, stay in the group, hang with us. We love y'all. But the goal is that, you can start calling plays to us. You can start, sending us signals and being like, look, this is what I see. And I'm starting to see that more and more each week. So I just want to say before I even get into the video that I'm proud of each and every one of y'all that are making strides and taking your own moves and staying consistent. Okay, yeah, it's not going to be a perfect road. There's going to be losses. But when you stay the course, you will eventually get to where you're trying to go. Now, today, I introduced a concept that I've been using for a very long time to the group. And I just wanted to make a quick video to kind of break it down to everybody watching this video, a different way to look at risk. All right. Now, before I give you all of this incredibly great information, just go ahead and give me a simple like and a comment maybe, right? We're trying to get that algorithm flowing so that we can start getting this message out to the masses. All right. Now, a subscribe would be great. That'd be great too. If you're not subscribed to this channel and somehow, the universe brought this to your algorithm, and you were supposed to see this, it'd be great to just go ahead and give me a subscribe. I'm on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers, obviously so I can get monetized, but also because I have something pretty cool that I want to introduce to you guys when we get to that threshold. But all right, without any further ado, because I know I'm rapping, I'm gonna get right into it, right? Now, when we're thinking about risk, a lot of times, we're thinking about, leverage, right? We're thinking about what is the full amount that I'm willing to put up but not lose. I want you guys to understand that putting up and losing are two different things. One is leverage. Putting up is leverage. Losing is risk, right? So you may put up $1,000 for a trade, but for the most part, you're not getting ready to let that whole $1,000 go. And if you are a trader who is taking precaution, a good trader, an experienced trader, you already know the max that you're willing to lose before you even go into the trade. All right. I want each and every person that's watching this to understand that, like, the only reason that people call things gambling is because they're going into something blindly. When we're trading, we've already accepted the loss. We're already going into there knowing exactly what the lowest amount that we're willing to take is, right? So I got a few analogies that I want to use to kind of drive home, this risk that I'm talking about, that I'm, going to go into more detail about later in the video. But I just wanted to kind of preface the video with that, right? So we know the difference between leverage, right? What you're putting up, and then risk, what you're fine with losing. Okay, so I can leverage 1,000, but I'm only fine with losing 200. So that means I have a 20% stop loss. That is my risk. Okay, so don't get the two confused. I know some people might be like, oh, well, you're risking 1,000. It's like, no, because I know for a fact that if it starts dropping to being down 18%, my finger's on that trigger to get out of there 20%. Okay, so I want to introduce something to you all that a lot of great and experienced traders keep in their toolkit, and I want you to really start looking at trading as something that you are, you're going, and it's not, I don't want to just call it a job, but it's you're a player in this game, and you have a bunch of like things at your disposal that you can use. I know that when you're starting out new, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like, stick to a strategy. Absolutely, that's true. Absolutely, that's true. But as you start to mature and progress in trading, you have to understand that every single time is not the same time, right? When you're trading, it's not always the exact type of environment that it is when you traded previously, or when your next trade will be. So it's important to be able to understand the lay of the land and then use the appropriate force on your target, right? Use the appropriate force on your target, or your subject, I should say. Right? So let's just say you're a police officer, right? You got all these things on your belt. You got a baton or a bat. You got you got mace. You got a stun gun or a taser. You got you got a regular like pistol, like a 9mm or something like that, and you got handcuffs, right? So these are all things that are designed to neutralize your subject, right? To make sure that you can defend or neutralize your subject with the appropriate force. So I want you to take that same concept and look at the charts as your subject. Now, the way that you are able to, get into a trade and get out what you want from it is by using the appropriate force. And every single time we get into the market, we're not going to need to use the same exact thing. Sometimes the market is going to present us with very, very easy circumstances, and we can just go in there and not use a whole lot of effort, right? We can see that, okay, this has, this huge fair value gap to fill. So we know that it's, as it starts to break into this particular area, it's going to be coming down pretty soon, right? Simple things. The orb strategy, we know that when it breaks above that open range, then, it's going to give us at least 10%, right? But what happens when, you feel like you've been trading and never catching these longer moves, right? And then you hear stories about, these traders, like, for me, example, like, like $47,000 is the most that I made in a single trade, right? One trade, right? And that didn't come from just making a trade during the day. That came from me being able to identify a trade that was going to have a longer distance, and I was going to be able to actually like enjoy that full journey to the target. Maybe not 100% to the target, but very, very close to it, right? And I want to start showing you guys how to transition out of getting just 10, 15% or 20% on a trade and really being able to get 70, 80, 100% on a trade. Now, again, go back to the toolkit, right? This is not something that you got to pull this skill out for every day, because this opportunity is not going to exist in the market every day. In order for you to see 60, 70, 100+% moves, that means the market is going to have to create some sort of imbalance, and it's going to have to continue that imbalance for quite some time so that it can then have an extensive period of correction where you're able to actually, make that money. Now, how do you catch the whole move and not put yourself in a position where you're just losing all your gains? This is a question that everybody wants to know. They're like, damn, well, how do I get to a point where I'm okay with staying in it past like 20%? Because usually when I get like 10%, like I'll be good, and then it go back, and then I'll be down like 20%. I got you. All right. I want y'all to know, like, I'm here for y'all, man. Like, I'm here to give y'all all the game that I wish that I would have had. Because, like, when you're learning a new skill, there's so many little nuances that you may not know to ask. And because I've gone through all the pain and losing all the money and getting it back and making more and really getting to a consistently profitable level, I'm able to really speak to exactly where you may be. It's not a story that you can tell me about the market that I cannot tell you I experienced or identify with or completely understand. I've seen it all, right? Lost so much money, made so much money, right? Been in trades too long, been in trades not long enough, like been on losing streaks, been on winning streaks, been, been like, making money then losing it, making it and not really going anywhere, just kind of standing in the middle. Anything that you can think of, I've experienced it. So this is what, and I'm not here to like flash, like I'm not like the other guys, right? Because I'm not here to flash what I got, right? Like anybody that's close knows what the capability is, but my goal here talking to you is to get you to understand trading. It don't have nothing to do with me and my lifestyle, and I don't have to prove anything. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't gotta throw shit in your face, right? So we'll get off that because that's not what this video is about. But it kind of gets to me when, people feel like they got to use material to get people to buy into their shit. And then when they get in there, they don't care nothing about them. Right? I'm saying that because I experienced it. So I know people in our group, they want to be cared for. They want to be, not handheld, but like, yo, show me how to really fish so I can really do this on my own and not have to keep coming back to you for 10 years for every little thing. Like, you understand what I'm saying? All right, so now that we got that out the way, we back to it, right? Back to that toolkit, okay? So how do I get to a place where I can take these long trades and be able to test them and ride them through the ups and downs to ultimately go to that target that I know it can go to? Well, here's what you got to do. You have to size for zero. Okay, I'm going to say it 3 times. You have to size for zero. You have to size for zero. And sizing for zero just simply means that you are now taking your risk and making that your leverage. So remember I told y'all, if you had $1,000 and you risked it, or you had $1,000 that you put up to make money in a trade, but you were getting out at 200, that's a 20% risk. I want you to now have 100% risk, meaning the entire amount that you're risking, you are willing to lose. Why would I risk 100%, Marcel? Well, because you're already doing it, right? It's a trick. You're already doing it. If I'm risking $1,000 and I'm okay with losing 200, which is 20%, well, how about I just make my next trade $200? Ooh. So now I can stand the fluctuations that the market will bring. I don't have to be as sharp with my entry. I don't have to be as talented in pinpointing exactly where it's going to be. But I do know this thing is going down because volume is showing me it's going down. The wicks is showing me it's going down. It's got a confirmation candle on a daily. It's showing me it's going down. So I know this thing is going down. I just can't predict exactly when and how, right? But I go on a weekly. I go on a 2-week trade and stay in it with an amount that I'm willing to lose the whole thing of. What this does is not guessing. It's not gambling. What it does is it allows you to sustain the volatility that may be happening in the short term for it to get where it's ultimately trying to get, and you could ultimately score yourself 200, 300, 400% on a particular trade, and only risking the same amount that you were risking when you were leveraging more money. So if you're risking $1,000, you might want that 1,000. You may not want to see that 1,000 go all the way down to zero. So you getting out 20% down. Okay, well, if you're in that 200 and you're down 40%, that's only 100, or 50%. You're only down $100. So now that you're down 50%, and then it decides to reverse, and then it finally does fully go in that direction that you wanted to go in, you can wait it out. You can even wait it out another day or another day to get to that target that you see it coming down to on the daily. And this can go in any direction. I'm just saying down to because I'm referring to what we took today, which was Palantir. We had over 70% in Palantir. It's probably going to open up tomorrow and be even crazier. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting this, all right? Sizing for zero is just making your 20% your 100%. And it gives you much more time in the trade. So if you okay with losing 20% of 1,000, you can be okay with losing 100% of 200. And of course, these numbers are not fixed. You can adjust them to your risk level and your tolerance and your budget. But I'm just giving you guys an example of some round figures and how you can get to a place where you learn to size for zero. Now, This is not something that you want to make a daily habit because there are not 100, 200, 300% moves available in the market every single day. So again, this is in your toolkit. You go reach for this when you see that there is something that is shaping up to be an extremely long distance move. You doing this is going to allow you to get big leaps in your account so that you can slowly start to build this type of trade out to a point where you are comfortable risking 1,000 as your size for zero. All right. It's all going to depend on what your bankroll is, what your money's looking like. But as you grow, this is something that is really cool to keep into your toolkit, because you could get to a point where you're cool with sizing 2,000 for zero, right? And you can go get, 200, 300% on that. How much would that help your account in a week's time, right? So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Again, this is not something that is every day. I don't want y'all coming back like, Marcel, I tried to size for zero, I lost all my money. It's like, well, first of all, you should already be okay with losing all your money. That's like I said, we're taking that 20% and making it 100%. So whatever you're willing to lose with the leverage is what you should be betting the whole thing for. But again, it's only when there's obvious opportunity. It's only when there's opportunity that has like potential to go 100, 200% in terms of the premium prices for the options contracts. So that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with, man. If you got questions, if you don't understand that, if it's clear, I'd like to hear from you in the comments. I'm pretty sure this is a straightforward video, but when you're hearing certain things for the first time, new languages being introduced, it may not be fully received. So if you have any questions, man, this is your time. It's not a lot of people on the internet doing this, and I'm not sitting here trying to put myself above anybody or compare, nothing like that. But I'm saying it because it's an opportunity for you to really get some answers on your questions answered by a profitable trader, right? So drop them in the comments below. I'm here for as long as I'm here. And that's how we're going to go. Also, if you're looking for a trading community, man, we have one of the most amazing communities on the internet, man. Like, you can come and join for 7 days if you don't believe me, right? You can come and trade with us for 7 days to see if we're about what we say we're about, right? If you would have joined in the earlier part of this week, you would be up over 100% just based off of the plays that we called. You'd be way over 100% just in the plays that we called this week, and it's only Thursday. Okay, so that's just a prime example. So again, you sign up in the link below. You pay zero money, and then you go and make some money, and then after that, it's $40 a month. Still coming in much more affordable than a lot of other places where you may be like a small fish in a big sea. All right, so if you want to win, if you want to really learn this, if you want to connect with a community that is outstanding, supportive, loving, smart, all of that stuff, you got to lock in with the team. And if y'all are in the group, y'all know what to do. Comment below. Let them know how we get down. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.